The next chapter in the iconic looter-shooter saga is almost here. Borderlands 4 is set to launch on September 12, 2025. Gamers everywhere are excited to return to the chaotic and colorful world of Pandora. This new installment promises more guns, more bizarre enemies, and more of the signature humor that fans have come to love over the years. The announcement has created a huge buzz in the gaming community. Players are ready to team up with friends, hunt for legendary loot, and explore the wild frontiers that the developers at Gearbox have crafted for this highly anticipated sequel. The hype is real, and the countdown has begun for what could be the biggest Borderlands adventure yet. This upcoming release will be available on the latest generation of consoles, including the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. It will also come to PC, which is where many dedicated fans prefer to play. However, the news about the PC version comes with a significant catch. The developers have revealed the minimum system requirements needed to run the game. These specifications are much higher than what was needed for previous titles in the series. This has caused a lot of discussion among PC players. They are now looking at their own computer hardware and wondering if it will be powerful enough to handle the new game when it finally arrives. The excitement for Borderlands 4 is mixed with a bit of concern. The promise of a new adventure is thrilling for everyone who loves the series. People are already speculating about the new Vault Hunters, the story, and the incredible arsenal of weapons they will get to discover. But the conversation has shifted for many PC gamers. It is not just about whether they want to buy the game, but whether they can even run it. The high bar set by the minimum requirements means that a simple purchase might not be enough. A hardware upgrade could be necessary for many to even step foot into the world of Borderlands 4. This situation highlights a growing trend in PC gaming. As games become more ambitious and graphically advanced, the hardware needed to play them also becomes more powerful. Borderlands 4 seems to be pushing the boundaries of what is expected from a standard gaming PC. While console players can be sure the game will work on their systems, PC players face a more complex reality. They must check their components, like their processor and graphics card, against the game's demands. For many, the road to Borderlands 4 might involve a trip to the computer store, not just a digital download. This is the new reality for cutting-edge games. The minimum system requirements for Borderlands 4 have surprised many players. To play the game at a basic level, which is 1080p resolution and 60 frames per second, you will need a powerful computer. The most significant requirement is the Central Processing Unit, or CPU. The game demands a CPU with at least 8 cores. This is a big jump from previous games. Examples of CPUs that meet this requirement include the AMD Ryzen 7 2700X or the Intel Core i7 9700. These are not entry-level processors, they are mid to high-range components that many gamers may not have in their current setups, which raises concerns about accessibility. So what is a CPU, and why are its cores so important for Borderlands 4? Think of the CPU as the brain of your computer. It handles all the instructions and calculations needed to make a game run. The cores are like individual processors within that main brain. Each core can work on a different task at the same time. Having more cores means the CPU can handle more tasks simultaneously. This is called multitasking. For a complex game like Borderlands 4, having 8 cores means the computer can manage many different game elements at once, from enemy AI to physics calculations, without slowing down. This new 8-core minimum presents a major problem for a large portion of the PC gaming community. We can see just how big this problem is by looking at data from Steam. Steam regularly conducts a hardware survey to see what kind of computers its users have. The most recent data shows that more than half of all Steam users, specifically 50.2%, are using CPUs with 6 cores or fewer. This means that, as it stands today, 1 out of every 2 players on Steam would not be able to meet the minimum requirements to play Borderlands 4. This is a huge number of fans who might be left behind. This leaves many gamers in a difficult position. They are faced with the reality that their current gaming rigs, which may have run every other game perfectly fine until now, are suddenly not good enough. The jump to an 8-core minimum is a significant step up. It signals that the technology behind games is advancing quickly. While this progress leads to better and more immersive game worlds, it also comes at a cost. That cost is the need for more expensive and powerful hardware. The community is now debating whether these requirements are justified or if they exclude too many dedicated fans from the experience. You might be asking why Borderlands 4 needs such a powerful CPU. The answer lies in the ambitious new design of the game world. The developers have decided to eliminate loading screens between different large zones. In past Borderlands games, when you moved from one area to another, like from the arid Badlands to the Doll Headland, you had to wait at a loading screen. This break gave the computer time to load all the new assets for the next map. It was a necessary pause that allowed the game to run on a wider range of hardware by managing memory and processing power in smaller, separate chunks. Borderlands 4 is changing that completely by creating a seamless, open-world experience. You will be able to travel across vast landscapes without any interruptions. This means the game has to constantly load and unload parts of the world in the background as you move. Your CPU will be working tirelessly to stream in new textures, character models, and environmental details ahead of you, while removing what is behind you. This continuous process of data management is incredibly demanding on the processor. An 8-core CPU is needed to handle this constant streaming of information smoothly, ensuring the game does not stutter or freeze while you're playing. This design choice has a huge impact on performance, especially for older computers. A PC with a 4-core or 6-core CPU would struggle to keep up with the demands of a seamless world. The processor would be overwhelmed trying to manage the game's logic, enemy behavior, and the massive amount of data for the open world all at once. This could lead to severe performance issues such as low frame rates, input lag, and frequent crashes. The game would become unplayable. The beautiful, seamless world that developers want to create requires a strong hardware foundation to support it, and older systems simply cannot provide that. The move towards bigger, more dynamic open worlds is a major trend in modern game development. Players love the freedom and immersion that these worlds provide. However, this trend puts a lot of pressure on the hardware that runs these games. The developers of Borderlands 4 are betting that the incredible experience of a seamless Pandora will be worth the high system requirements. They are creating a world that feels more alive and connected than ever before. But this technological leap forward means that the hardware of the past is no longer sufficient for the games of today, creating a clear divide in the player base. The high system requirements for Borderlands 4 place many PC gamers at a crossroads. They face a clear choice: either invest in new hardware or risk missing out on the next big adventure in a beloved franchise. For those with CPUs that have fewer than 8 cores, the path forward involves spending money. This could mean buying a new processor, which might also require purchasing a new motherboard and potentially new RAM to be compatible. An upgrade like this can be expensive, costing hundreds of dollars. It's a significant financial commitment just to be able to play a single new game. This situation forces players to evaluate their passion for the series against their budget. Is the excitement of playing Borderlands 4 on day one worth the cost of a PC upgrade? For some dedicated fans, the answer will be a clear yes. They will see it as a necessary investment in their hobby, one that will also prepare them for future games. For others, especially those with tighter budgets, the decision is much harder. They may have to wait for a sale on computer parts, or hope that game patches and driver updates can somehow improve performance on their existing systems, though that is unlikely. There are a few other options, but none are ideal for PC purists. Some might choose to buy the game on a console like the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X or S, assuming they own one. These consoles are guaranteed to run the game smoothly, taking the guesswork out of the equation. Another possibility is to wait. Over time, the price of computer components will eventually come down. What is considered high-end today will become the standard in a few years. Waiting could make the upgrade more affordable, but it means missing out on the initial launch excitement and playing alongside the community when the game is new. In the end, the demanding nature of Borderlands 4 is a sign of where the gaming industry is headed. As virtual worlds become more complex and seamless, the hardware needed to power them will continue to advance. While this pushes the boundaries of what is possible, it also creates a gap between those who can afford to keep up and those who cannot. Players wanting to dive into the latest Pandora adventure will need to check their specs, weigh their options, and decide if they are ready to make the leap. The next generation of gaming is here, but it comes with a price tag.